Are you ready, Lacey? Are you ready to become famous? Hey there, it's Nicola from NicolaNewman.com, and today we've got Lacey Jane in the studio with us because she loves to play Chasey with Lacey in the studio, but I'll pop her down for the now because today is another Q&A with Nicola, and I'm very excited about this question because I'm sure if you've ever had the thought when you saw some artwork, that looks like a kid could do that. It's pretty easy. Perhaps when you're looking at abstract art and then you've gone home to try and replicate it and found that it's actually quite difficult and more tricky than it first appeared. Well, today's question comes from Michelle, and she says, Nicola, I have struggled with composition, particularly with abstracts. And so I'm going to give you 5 tips today about things that have helped me to figure out how to make great compositions, particularly working with abstracts. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the difference in tone. It's very easy when you're working with an abstract painting to forget about using highlights, shadows and midtones simply because it's easy to get focused on making lots of marks. But it's important to have highlights and shadows because it'll make your painting pop. So I'm going to just give a little demonstration and add a few highlights to this painting here that's already quite dark and see what happens as I start putting on, this is oil paint by the way. See how it will add another dimension to the painting. Now the layer underneath this is actually dry, so it's not mixing in with the pink. It's not turning pink, I should say. And it's good to have a variation in marks as well. So you could have some marks that are kind of making lines, and you can have marks that are dabs or different strokes. You can obviously use a paintbrush as well rather than these painting sort of trowel things that I pick up from the hardware store. And don't be afraid as well to wipe things back. So you can start to see things are pushing and pulling here. The dark colour is getting pushed into the back and the light's popping out. And by adding simple highlights, and don't be afraid to use really white whites and really dark darks, you'll add a lot more depth into your abstract paintings. The second thing was variation, which I've touched on. So you can drip things on, you can stroke things on, you can scrape it, you can wipe it, and trying different techniques will add more and more variation to your painting. The third thing I wanted to mention was balance. And I wanted to give an example of, say for example, you're setting up your lounge room with all your furniture and you're wanting to rearrange your furniture and find just that place where it starts to click and it just feels right. You might have to put the couch over here and then feel where you need to put the coffee table and adjust things a little bit until it clicks. Well, it's very similar when you're working with an abstract painting, and sometimes it is about moving an element and totally painting it out and moving it or pushing it back and feeling then how it interacts with the other objects on the canvas. And sometimes it's easy to get afraid to change your composition once you've already gotten in deep with it, but it's never too late to change your composition, and don't be afraid to move elements around. So balance is the third key. And fourth, I wanted to tell you about unity. So you could come over the top of your painting with a glaze by mixing your oil paint with some kind of medium, or if you're using acrylic paint, you can mix it with even just water or a binder and thin out the paint. And then I'll give you a little quick demonstration. So you can mix up a glaze and just put it across the top of your painting, and it will help to unify all of the disparate elements in your painting. And then you can come back and touch up your highlights again afterwards, after the glaze has dried. So Michelle, I really hope that helps, and please feel free to leave any comments or questions that you have in the comment section below over at NicolaNewman.com. Feel free to share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel and to my newsletter, and I'd love to hear from you in the coming weeks. Okay, cheers, have a great day, bye.
Flourish with Painting and Creativity is coming up. Would you love to learn how to paint? Would you like some free tips and more info? Go to paintingandcreativity.com.
I'll talk to this camera, shall I?
Yeah, talk to that.
Yep. Hey, Lacey, do you want to play chasey with Lacey? Lacey, do you want to... You're too tired. You're too tired to play chasey, are you?